You know you should say no. You feel it in your body. Every cell of you is screaming, "This is too much." And then your mouth opens, and yes comes out. You agree to the favor. You take on the extra work. You let the conversation continue past your limit. You stay when you should leave. You give when you have nothing left to give. And later, alone, you ask yourself the same question: why can't I just say no? And once you understand what your body is actually doing, everything changes. Most people misunderstand boundaries. They think a boundary is a rule you impose on someone else, a demand, a wall, something you build to keep people out. That is not what a boundary is. A boundary is the line where you end and another person begins. It is your honest answer about what you can give, what you can tolerate, what you have capacity for. When you set a boundary, you are not controlling the other person. You are telling the truth about yourself. But here is why this is so hard. For many people, telling the truth about themselves was never safe. Their honest needs were inconvenient. Their real limits were dismissed. Their no was treated as defiance. So they learned a different skill, the skill of disappearing inside themselves to keep the peace. When you try to say no, and your mouth says yes anyway, that is not weakness. That is your nervous system overriding your intention. Your body has decided that saying no is dangerous. Maybe because as a child, your no was punished. Maybe because in past relationships, disappointing someone meant losing them. Maybe because you learned that conflict was the worst possible outcome. So when the moment comes to say no, your nervous system intervenes. It floods your body with the feeling that this is dangerous, that something terrible will happen, that the relationship cannot survive your honesty. And in that wave of fear, you say yes. Not because you want to, because saying no felt like a threat to your survival. This is not a character flaw. This is a deeply learned response that had kept you safe in environments where being safe meant not having needs. How do you know if this is you? Number one, you say yes before you have time to think. The agreement leaves your mouth before you have actually decided. By the time you realize you didn't want to, it's already done. Number two, you feel resentful afterward, not in the moment. Later, when you are alone, the yes you said in fear becomes the resentment you carry quietly for days. Number three, you cannot tell where you end and other people begin. Their emotions become your emotions. Their problems become your problems. Their disappointment feels like your responsibility. Number four, you over-explain when you finally say no. The no requires 3 paragraphs of justification, as if your no is not enough by itself, as if you need to convince them you have a good enough reason. Number 5, you feel guilty even when you set a small boundary. Even a reasonable no creates a wave of guilt that lasts for hours, like you have done something wrong by simply telling the truth. When you cannot set boundaries, your life slowly fills with things you did not choose, commitments you did not want, relationships that take more than they give, conversations that drain you, tasks that belong to other people, emotional labor that is not yours to carry. And here is the deepest cost. You lose contact with what you actually want, because when your no is unavailable to you, your yes loses its meaning too. You cannot truly choose anything if you cannot decline anything. Your time disappears into other people's priorities. Your energy goes to other people's emergencies. Your inner life becomes a constant management of other people's expectations. And eventually, you stop knowing what you actually want. Because wanting things requires being able to protect what you want. And without boundaries, you cannot protect anything. The good news, inherent boundaries can be learned, not as a personality trait, as a practice. The first step, start before the moment of decision. By the time someone is asking you for something, your nervous system is already activated. The work happens before that. Practice asking yourself in low-stakes moments, what do I actually want? What am I actually feeling? Build the muscle of knowing your own answer. The second step, buy yourself time. You do not have to answer immediately. Most requests do not require an immediate response. Practice saying, let me think about it and get back to you. That sentence is a boundary in itself. It interrupts the automatic yes. The third step, let your no be a complete sentence. You do not need to over-explain. You do not need to justify. No, or no thank you, or that does not work for me. The longer your explanation, the more room you give the other person to negotiate. A clear no protects you. The fourth step, tolerate the discomfort. The first time you set a boundary, you will feel guilty, anxious, like you did something wrong. That is the old pattern protesting. It does not mean you should reverse the boundary. It means you are doing something new. The discomfort will pass. The freedom will not. You are not selfish for having limits. You are not difficult for telling the truth. You are not unkind for protecting your energy. Boundaries are not the opposite of love. Boundaries are what makes love possible. Because love that requires you to disappear is not love. It is a contract with someone else's comfort at your expense. The people who deserve to be in your life will not punish you for having a self. They will respect your no. They will adjust their expectations. They will see your boundary as information, not betrayal. And the ones who cannot accept your boundaries were never giving you a real choice anyway. You are allowed to have limits. You are allowed to protect your time. You are allowed to be a full person, not just a function in someone else's life. If this video helped something click, subscribe, because next week we go even deeper.